Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and this is Andy255, and this is part 4 of our dynamic series. And we are now going to set the boxes on fire. That's why we're going to put out the fire with our simulation. Of course, it's all made up, but it's fun anyway. Let it burn. So now we're going to go in here and catch all these babies on fire. So select a box and go ahead and add that fire. Now make sure I would save your scene every time you do a simulation. That way if something goes bad you can open up your latest save. Okay, let's go in here and go to effects, and we're going to create fire. Go into the option box and reset everything. Okay, and click create. There we go. Now if you haven't seen my series on how to do an effect like fire, go ahead and watch the fire effects up in the lessons area and introduction to rigid body dynamics. I think that's the last video I did, so rewatch that if you need help with getting things set up. It shouldn't be that hard to do. Okay, that's how easy it is, and now it's on fire. Awesome. Cool. And of course you can see the fire just kind of following that around, which is awesome. So I'm going to go in here and go to fire and reset, create. And because I'm working in centimeters now, it's paying off. So now I don't have to worry about that. So what happened here? Why didn't that catch on fire? We got to catch it on fire. Fire. Okay. Click on it. Here we go. There we go. Now we're cooking. Literally cooking, right? Okay, here we go. Or figuratively cooking. Anyway, so let's go ahead in here and click on that. And just make sure everything catches on fire. We got all of them burning. Oh yeah. Okay, and the next one. Alright, so we get them all on fire here. We got quite a blaze going on here. Let's take a look at the render. So I'm going to go in here to render settings. I'm going to change it from Arnold Render to Software Render. And in Software Render we're going to do highest quality and then production quality here. And then in the Commons tab we're going to do just a small HD 540. Okay. I don't have any lights in here, so I think we're just going to use the default light. I think the default light's still on. Let's go into the Commons tab, scroll down under Render Options, and it should show, yeah, Enable Default Light. So the default light should show everything. So let's go ahead and play it, or render it. There it is. Okay, great. I don't know if I have to tweak it because we're at a perfect scale, and it looks pretty decent. The only thing I might change, let's go to one of them. Let's go back, and I think in this one here, let's go into the fire. This is the problem here. There's so many of them now. Box 1, top 1, turbulence. Okay, let's go into the channel editor. I like using this a little bit more than I like the attribute editor. This makes it a little easier for me. So I'm going to go in here. So box 1, emitter 6. So I'm going to go down to particle 6, I think. Yes, there it is. Particle 6. We're going to go into the particle fields. So I'm going to start with 6. And you can change it per particle system. Okay. So what we want to do is in the emitter, I believe, let's see here, emitter for the hose, particle rate. Is it in here? Do we see that? Particle rate is what I'm looking for. Your start frame, current frame, start frame. When do we want that to stop? So if I'm happy with everything, let's go ahead and just get this finished. Okay, water is coming in, it's knocking it out. So on the top 3, this guy right here, that's box 5. So I'm going to go to particle 5, see if this works. Where's group or particle 5 right here? There we go. Particle 5, start frame 1. We need the rate. That's what we're looking for. Intensity, end radius. No. Where are you? Lifespan. Random lifespan. Let me go into the box itself and see if I can find it. Okay. Control A again. Alright, rigid body, rigid solver, time. Got a lot of stuff on here now. Box texture. Where are you? So it's particle, drag, gravity. Particle. Direction. Emitter rate. That's what I'm looking for. There it is. Emitter, is that it? Yes, I found it. So particle 6, rate, emitter, yes, rate. Okay, cool. So that's it. That's what I'm looking for. So looking for the rate, particle, basic emitter, under emitter 5. So I'm clicked on particle, and I just need to turn all of these off. So when I click on this, we're going to do all of them. So I'm going to start right at the bottom. I'm going to turn that off. So particle 7, I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. So okay, so the rate's at 1. I want the fire to start burning out the minute it starts hitting it. There we go, like that. There we go. Okay, so we all decided it was around 50. So I'm thinking around 60, just for fun. Okay. So I don't think it'll let me do this unless I delete that. So I'm going to delete expression. Okay, so I don't think it's going to hurt anything. There we go. Okay, so the top one, this one right here. Alright. So at frame 60, we're going to keyframe that. Set key, right? There we go. And it's not really showing us the rate particle there. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to let it play for a little bit. Like that. Maybe frame 140 we start to pull it down to 0 and set a key. See what happens. Yeah, that one's totally out. That's cool. So it's that one right there. Alright, great. So that works. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next one, up. So particle 7, particle 6. Okay, we're going to right click over this, delete expression. Okay, and then I'm going to go to frame, let's say 70. It's kind of offset a little bit. And this will be 10. So let's go in here and set a key. And then we're going to go, probably this one's going to go out a little bit faster, maybe. I'm not sure which one that is, so we'll make a decision later. So I'm going to do 0 on that. And set a key. There we go. So let's go ahead and see that which one that one is. Okay, that must be the one behind it. Yep, which makes sense. Okay. Alright, cool. These probably should be the last ones. Like 7 should be the last one for the fire to stop. Alright, so let's go in here. That's 10, it's flaming on. So let's wait for that one. Let's go ahead and break connection on that. and set it at 10 and redo this now that I know which one it is. So it's flaming on, we're good, and let it burn for a little bit longer. So maybe at frame 130. Here we go. Just make this as realistic as possible. And let it go for a little bit longer, 130 to maybe 240. And turn that to 0. Let's get a 240 here. And tune that to 0. There we go. Set a key. Alright, so now that looks pretty good. So that's going to go a little bit longer. This one that gets set by the water is one that's going to go out faster. Okay, and that one's going to go the a little bit longer. So particle 7, particle 6, particle 5 is this one right here, looks like. And let's go ahead and break that connection, delete expression, and let's go ahead and play. And go ahead and start setting that up. And then we'll go on. And that should go out. Frame 0. Okay. Play that. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to go to particle 4, break that connection, and play. Let's go ahead and set that up and let it burn out faster. 0. There we go. Let's see what happens with that. Alright, cool. Looks good. We got one last one to do. Okay, this one right here. And so we got particle 4, particle 3. There's our last one there. And let's go back. And particle 3 emitter. And delete expression. Play it. Let's get a little bit of... Start that one at that time. And play a little bit longer. And that should kind of die off right about there. That might die off a little earlier. Okay, so I think we got it all. There we go. Okay, cool. Alright, so that's it. So you just get those boxes kind of not all flaming out at the same time. Kind of make it a little more random. And this one and this one probably should last longer than the 3 that actually get hit. Let's take a look. I think that looks good. Alright, awesome. Basically that's it. So let's get our thing set up. Our camera set up. We want to see kind of everything we can. That looks good. I'm going to get rid of the outliner now. Save your work. Okay, and if you haven't textured your scene, now's the time to do it. The simulation will not get in the way of you texturing your stuff. So should not have a problem or issue doing that. And that's what I'm going to be doing. Is texturing it now. That's our final. So we're going to go in here. Again, save your work as much as possible, and don't wait too long. As soon as you can. Play blast. Okay, play blast. There we go. AVI encoding XVID. Quality, highest quality from Windows. Scale 1. Frame padding at 3. We've got 400 frames. We don't need that many. Let me close that a minute. We're way over. So let's go with 300. And I think that's good. Plenty. So we're good with that. Yep, that'll work perfect. Yep, 300 frames. If you need more than 300 frames to show your animation in your simulation, please feel free to do that. That's just 300. Whatever you can get by with showing your whole entire completed simulation. So there we are. Scale 3. Remove temporary files. Yes. Save to file. Yes. Where do you want to save it to? Browse. Let's go to the desktop. And this will be what do we call this? I totally forgot. Spacing it off right now. Put out the fire. Yeah. So JByers module 5. It's just fire on. Let's type it fire. Yeah, let's put Annie in there. Annie 255. There we go. Something like that will work just fine. Whatever I ask you to, whatever naming convention I ask you to do in module 5, please do that. But always put your first and last name in there, and I probably should do that too as well to make sure I get that. Okay. Alright, so first and last name, Annie 255 module 5, fire. And we're going to the desktop so it's easy to find. There we go, play blast. Okay, that's good. I do have the wireframe on, and that's okay because I didn't put textures. If you put textures on, you don't need to have wireframe on. I don't mind seeing the wireframe. It's not going to bother me. So if you use textures though, you'll probably want to turn that wireframe off. Okay. I'm not going to take off if you have wireframe on. There we go. Everything's there. So we've got the animation of the fire hydrant pole coming back. We have the simulation of the water particles. We have the dynamics of the boxes. We added an impulse. We added the fire. We didn't really tweak out the fire much, but I showed you how to do that in the other video, introduction videos under lessons. So you can look at those if you need more help with that. So it's just when you do a large volume, if you actually get the scale right, you don't have to mess too much with the fire to get it to be right. I think it turned out pretty nice. Actually, let's take a look at what the fire looks like rendered again. Okay, cool. Of course, we all know that software render won't render particles. So let me show you what is up with that. So that's why we have what's called hardware render. Okay. So in a hardware render, okay, you just keep everything the way it is right now. Don't worry about anything, and go into Commons, and you got the same thing set up. So what I would do is I would take everything out except for just the particles and just render those out. But that's what the hardware render is for. So when you render that, it'll actually show all the pieces. It won't show anything else. It looks really good, actually. So hardware render. And you can batch that out if you want to. Batch render it. But I'm only asking for a play blast. Okay, we're not really getting into rendering just yet. I might do that on the last ones. Right now we're just having fun with this. Okay, it seems like a lot of stuff we did, and it is. So the idea is to be able to do this in your real production pieces, and we'll add a lot of dimension to your scenes. Okay, let's see what hardware render looks like again. Again, hardware render doesn't catch the materials, but if you put them together, then it probably will. Let's go in here, go back to software render, and you can see that we get the fire, the flames, and all that stuff. Very cool. Alright, that's it. Congratulations, guys, you did it. Make sure you save your work over and over and over again, and save as much as you can. And I'm not going to have a turn-in video. Basically, I already showed you how to do your play blast. That's all you're really turning in your MB file. So make sure I've already showed you how to do that. So just follow the directions of the turn-in instructions and the deliverables. Make sure you get the folders perfectly right, and make sure your naming conventions are spot on. And ask me any questions that you may have. And I hope you had a lot of fun with this. It was a lot of fun to show you how to do it. And please feel free to experiment on your own with some settings. And again, we want this to look as realistic as possible. Again, we don't want, we can be funny and just do whatever crazy stuff we want, but we're really looking to try to do as close to realism as you can with what we have. So, and I know the water won't look real, and I know the fire won't look real, but we want the dynamics to look and behave as close as possible, physically possible. So try not to elaborate too much with that type of thing. Okay, your scenes, what I mean by going above and beyond, is texturing your scene and adding windows and doing stuff I didn't ask you to do. That's going above and beyond. Okay, because I'm grading you for how close your scene looks to mine as far as simulation goes. Okay, that's really important to me, to get that simulation looking as realistically as possible. Okay, we're not here to break physics. Okay, the whole idea is to let Maya do some of the hard work, and we're just the artists to tweak it out. So that's the whole idea. Alright, you guys have a great week, and I will see you next week in Module 6. Okay, have a great weekend.